Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we have got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Prestige class description for you. And today, coming at you from the Complete Divine, we've got our boy, the Stormlord. Now today we're going to talk about what is a Stormlord? What does it take to become a Stormlord? What do you get as a Stormlord? And finally we're going to talk about how good the Stormlord is and how you might use it in a build. So let's get started. So first off, what is a Stormlord? The Stormlord is fairly simple, to be honest. They are worshippers of the evil god Talos, and Talos is all about nature, and in this case lightning. So these guys love to revel in the destructive powers of nature, particularly lightning. These guys were struck by Talos. Quite literally, they took a lightning bolt to get in. Being struck by him gave them the willingness and the drive to go in and become servants of his and learn to harness his raw destructive power for their own personal gain. And that is what they are. These guys are not good dudes. These guys revel in destruction and just the pleasures that they can get out from wreaking havoc on others. But that is what the Stormlord is. Now, let's talk about what it takes to become a Stormlord. First off, you have to have a base fortitude save of +4. So you're going to need a few levels to pull that one off. Next up, you're going to need a few feats. The first feat that you'll need is Endurance. Then you'll need the feat Great Fortitude. Finally, you'll need Weapon Focus. And weapon focus has to be any spear or javelin. So weapon focus, any spear or javelin. That's a lot, actually. It's going to be kind of difficult to get in with those feats. The one thing I will say is weapon focus with spear will actually help with another feat that you can get that'll give you a bunch of bonuses that also requires that. You'll probably want that with this prestige class. So there's at least that, but the feats aren't good, and the only real upside is this one also has overlapping prereqs. To require spells, you have to be able to cast 3rd level divine spells. You must worship Talos, and you must have been hit by a bolt of lightning, either magical or not. So a regular bolt of lightning works. Also, somebody casting chain lightning on you works too. So you have to survive. So if you're killed by it, it doesn't work. You have to get hit and live. So that's what it takes to become a Stormlord. The feats are a little bit nasty, but aside from that, it's not too terrible. Pretty easy to get in as straight cleric, which is probably the best way to do it. Now let's talk about what the Stormlord gets. First off, they get a D8 hit dice, which is pretty decent. The same as what a cleric gets, same as what a druid gets. Pretty standard for divine casters. Not terrible. They also get skills. It's only 2+ int. Their skill list is okay. They're missing spellcraft, which is a bit of an issue, but aside from that, it's not too bad. But yeah, their skills aren't the best. They get an average base attack bonus, which is the same as other divine casters, so it's all right. They get a good fortitude and will save, so that's pretty solid. And they also get full casting progression. So whatever divine casting class that they use to get in, they can progress that every single level. And that's huge. That's absolutely massive. The divine casters are super good, so the fact that they get this is really amazing. It goes really good with cleric. Now, in addition to that, they also get a number of special abilities. So they get the ability to enhance javelins. Now, they start out with the ability at 1st level to just any javelin they pick up, automatically a +1 for as long as they hold it. And then I think for like a round after, it goes up to a +2 at 6th level. And then the table says it goes up to +3 at 9th level, but the text says 10th level. In this case, I think I'm going to refer to the text just because the table is an absolute mess for this one. So I'm going to say the text. So no, I don't think there's a conflict for rules as written, rules as intended personally on this one. Yeah, and rules as written is always text over tables. So, and there's a reason why. I'll get to why I would say rules as intended is text on this one. Next, they get energy resistance, which isn't bad. They get a nice resistance to electricity. Starts out at a +5, but will eventually turn into immunity at 9th level, so that's pretty nice. So that's a really good advantage, just being resistant and then later immune to electricity. Very good. Very handy if you're getting struck by lightning bolts. They also get the shock weapon. So at 2nd level, any javelin that they carry or spear is automatically treated as if it had the shock property. In addition to being enhanced. And you know, it lasts for 1 round after you let go of it. Pretty good. Rather nice little ability that they get there. And that later goes on to become a Thundering Weapon, which just adds the Thundering property, and then later eventually Shocking Burst. So the shock gets replaced by Shocking Burst. So all your weapons will eventually become +3 Thundering Shocking Burst. Is a pretty strong little weapon there. That's, I think, a +6 total, and that's just any old random weapon that you pick up is now gets all those enhancements. I think the enhancements might only be for when you use it as a ranged weapon. That's Thundering, Shocking, and all that stuff. Those should apply for if you use it in melee as well. 3rd level, you also get Stormwalk, which just makes it so that you're just straight up immune to weather effects. So if it's really windy, yeah, that doesn't phase you. You don't need to make checks. You can go through hurricane force winds without a problem, which is really, really nice. One of the nicest things this class gets. They also get Storm Ride. They get that at 6th level, and Storm Ride, basically what that does is it makes it so that if there is a storm, you get the effect of a fly spell. You just now are under the effect of a fly spell, and you're not affected at all. So you can just fly freely. Like if you normally can't fly, suddenly a storm picks up. Well, now you can just fly freely now that there's a storm around, because you know how to traverse through it and use the winds of the storm in order to fly as you see fit. That's kind of awesome. And finally, at 10th level, and this is where we get into the text versus table stuff and why I say text 100% for this, you get Storm of Elemental Fury, which just lets you cast Storm of Elemental Fury once per day as a standard action and as a spell-like ability. So pretty nice. You also do it as if you were a 17th level cleric, and if you take this as early as you can actually get this at 15th level. You would cast it as a cleric 2 levels higher than yourself initially. Now, this is static, so when you're 20th level, you're still only casting it as a 17th level cleric. So that's a little unfortunate, but still, that's not bad. It starts out particularly nice, and then it kind of gets worse, but still you get spell-like ability, and you still can cast the spell, since you have full casting. Just getting that as a bonus is very nice. There's certain advantages to spell-like abilities over spells. So, and the reason why I talk about the text versus table is the table says you get something else at 10th level instead. It says you get Elemental Conflagration, which Elemental Conflagration isn't even in 3.5. That's a carryover from 3.0, which isn't mentioned at all on these pages. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't get that 3.0 carryover. You get Storm of Elemental Fury. Makes a lot of sense. Rules as written, you obviously get Storm of Elemental Fury. Rules as intended, I'm pretty sure it's also Storm of Elemental Fury. And because of that, and also just the way it's laid out, 1st, 6th, 10th makes a lot more sense than 1st, 6th, and 9th for a pattern for your enhancements. I would say rules as intended and rules as written don't argue for this one. Personally, that's my personal take on that. Rules as intended, I would say it's pretty clear that, there's no conflict. So yeah, let's talk about how good the Stormlord is and how you might use it in a build. First off, is it good? Yes, it is a very good prestige class. It's a great one for an evil cleric that wants to be, fighting in combat. Use a buffing type cleric, one that self-buffs and doesn't really use blasting spells. This would be great for a cleric like that, particularly one that is nature-based and worships Talos. This could work extremely well for them. Full casting, you don't lose a ton for cleric. So yeah, you could easily just go 6 cleric and then just go straight into this. You might throw in some other prestige classes eventually or in the midst of this. But yeah, this could easily work for cleric, a straight cleric build. That's really all I have to say about it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more D&D 3.5 content. We do one of these on every single class race and prestige class in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, so definitely check that out. And also, down in the description, I have a link to my Discord as well as to my Twitch where I stream. So yeah, definitely check that out. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.